Hello and welcome to Never a Foul. It's the big game, but is it? Is it actually a big game? Is it actually a big game?
It's the coronation for the top four. That's what's happening, man.
Can Chelsea ruin the party? Can they ruin the party for Man United and then at least give Liverpool a little bit of hope? The hope that will kill. I know that. But anyway, welcome everybody to the channel. Make sure to hit that like button for us if you just joined here with Matisse, Lewis, Ty, and Kaz for a preview for Man United versus Chelsea, the game that Man United can guarantee the UEFA Champions League spot in part 2 with Arsenal. Surprise, surprise. But welcome everybody. How's everybody feeling today? Look at the Chelsea lot. What is this? Guys, smile a little bit, guys. Matisse, give me that smile, bro.
I smile when the season's done, bro. Like there's nothing to smile about, bro. I can't lie to you.
Five more days, and then I'll have
five more days. I feel like I feel like when this season's still going, I'm in prison with this season still going, bro. I need it to end. I get out on Sunday. Sunday 6 o'clock. I'm out.
And look at the Man United lot after the Liverpool draw with Aston Villa. Look at them. Oh my God, they would. You guys are confident.
I wasn't worried. I'm well documented online that I was not worried. Am I lying? Can anyone tell me a lie? I said that Liverpool going to draw 1-1 against Villa, yeah? I said, I'm not worried we're still going to get top 4. It's all good in the hood, man. Trust me, when it comes to predictions this season, 7 out of 10 times, I'm right, man.
Wouldn't you have only needed a win if Liverpool won anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been fine. You would have never had anything to worry about.
You say that now, man. You say that now, Lewis, but it's just... See, Chelsea, you just never know what you're going to get.
We've still got a job to do this Thursday, man.
Bro, we know from experience what to expect with Chelsea. We are the hooker on the end of street with the same price tag for the same action every week, and you'll get exactly what you came for. It is what it is. We are giving out 3 points. Like top 4's already set. We've got Newcastle, 3 points there. Newcastle already have top 4. So I'm actually quietly looking forward to that game a little bit more. But this game's done. Like you only need a point, let alone 3. All I'm saying is just put 2-3 goals in early, protect your players, rest everyone. You have an FA Cup final coming. That's a lot more important. Pass the ball around the second half and just leave with a humble 2 or 3-0. Give us some mercy. That's all I'm asking.
No pride whatsoever. No pride whatsoever, man. No pride.
We are 12th, bro. We are 12th. Where's the pride? Where's the pride?
I don't know.
It's gonna be the bottom half of the table for 25 years, right? Is that gonna be the first bottom half of the table for 25 years? It's guaranteed
we finished
now.
12th or 13th in like the 90s.
It's definitely the first time in the 2000s, anyway. So it'll be 25 years, maybe more than that.
Since 25 years since
we've been
last finished in the
bottom half of the table, man.
You're just going back to what you know, innit? Reality, innit?
We don't know this. We don't know this.
You know this. How old are you, Lewis?
25.
He hasn't seen tough days. He hasn't seen tough days.
Before Roman, we were a top 4 side, so we don't know this.
I'm 26. I don't know this.
He's like 40 years old. Don't let him fool you.
I don't know this. I'm not aware of this.
Man.
You know, in 1999 we finished 3rd. A lot of people don't know these things. You know.
I know a lot of these things.
Is
anyone going to remember Arsenal finishing 2nd?
I'm just saying.
And Zola.
Zola, Hasselbank days. I remember.
Oh my God! I used to like
Torrey Andre Flo and all them.
Yeah, I like that. Man.
Good
job. Good team, actually. It was a good team.
Kesman.
This guy had a horrible time at Chelsea in the beginning.
Him and Adrian Mutu, they were the European big boys that came over with Shevchenko.
He was a bad boy at one point, though. To be fair,
yeah, he was around.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's start with a couple of things. Man United lot. Guys, you're like Champions League probably is going to be guaranteed this game. How are you guys feeling? You guys feel like you can compete next year in the Champions League? You can do. Are you in a better position than Newcastle going to the Champions League next year?
I want to say yes.
Yeah.
I want to say
yes. I want to say yeah. And the reason I'm going to say yeah is because when we put it down to realistic expectations at the start of the season, I said Newcastle to finish in the top 10. And I said that would be a good season for them. Then Europa League the year after, then Champions League the third year. But obviously they're ahead of the cycle and have got top 4. But you got to look at it. Chelsea, respectfully, they've got good players that can come through with Pochettino. And obviously with the signings they'll get in. Liverpool are going to be better next season. Tottenham, we know what Tottenham are like. Let's not really count them in. And then obviously you're going to have Man United strengthening. So I think that Newcastle have just got ahead of the curve this year. But when you look at our team, if we get 4 or 5 of the right players in, I'm very confident in what Ten Hag has done with this squad already, getting us to 2 cup finals, getting us top 4. He's exceeded my expectations. I believe in him to get the right profiles in because, funny enough, yeah, when you think of foreign managers that come over, even Pep Guardiola, even other Dutch managers, they're so not used to the pace of the Premier League. They always talk about the intensity. They just think they can come over from Feyenoord or wherever it is and think, yeah, do you know what I've done there is going to work here. Then they realize like, whoa, like even Pep, he's never really had them physical, robust players. And then he's like, do you know what? I need to switch it up. And he's just learned year by year to get even better. So Ten Hag's going to do that. And, you know, we're going to be ready next season. And do you know what? Funny enough, Mo, I know I'm going to get probably scrutinized for this, yeah, because I'm normally quite sensible. But I actually said to you on a Eurostar show when it was on Grizzly's channel, this Champions League this year, the quality wasn't even that good. I said if Man United were in the Champions League this season, despite some losses we've had away from home and that, bring on anyone. I was not really worried, apart from Man City, to be fair, about anyone. Barcelona is
unless it's Sevilla, isn't it?
Bro, you lost to Sevilla, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Bro, when you lost to Sevilla, they were 15th in the league.
Bro, I understand it because
this is a Man United fan. This is a Man United fan. The definition of Man United fan in the dictionary is
that, but like that's why you wouldn't have been able to.
I mean, if Chelsea got to Borussia Dortmund and went through, I mean, Man United would have beat them too.
Were not
no, Borussia Dortmund are about to win the league.
Let's be real. Other than Man City and even Real Madrid, the quality of Europe is not that high at the moment. So going into it next year, I'm like, do you know what? Bring on whoever. Bayern Munich are not the same. Bayern Munich are going to lose the league to Dortmund. Like, I just don't think the standard's that high. So I'm looking forward to the Champions League next year. Bring it on, man.
I always say Europa League. You know, if you're that good, you're past Europa League with flying colours. And you guys, you haven't done that. Do you know what I mean? When we was in the Europa League, been in it twice, we won it twice. No questions asked, no questions, no queries, no drama. You guys making a drama out of Sevilla. So listen,
Matisse, we know what Sevilla
Tell them,
is.
Matisse.
We know, but you're Manchester United. If you can't deal with Sevilla, then the confidence shouldn't be crazy going into the
that loss was crazy.
We know
it was crazy. It was. I saw what De Gea did. It was crazy.
Yeah, Maguire, De Gea. It was just one of them games where you're just like the car blows up. You're on the M1, and what can you do? You got to wait for the guys to come by and help you.
But you know those teams that you're talking about, they're going to respond though. Like they're not going to be. I don't expect them to just stay flat. You know, they should. They should see that this season has been poor and they should go again. Same way you guys are going to improve. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Oh, by the way, Chelsea, they had one player who signed himself off in it, Eden Hazard, bro. We don't have that in our team. I'm sorry, but we don't have that attacking output in it. Like, there's a difference. You still had Kante. You still had like these players here.
Hazard played 3 games the whole tournament.
Yeah, but bro, did you not see that last game against Arsenal, bro? That was a walk in the park, fam. And I'm not being funny. Europa League has got exponentially better as well. Like literally better, or way better, because obviously conference and they're just budging everyone in who can't make it through the Champions League into one. It's not an excuse though. For me, it's like this. If we went on to do the Champions League, the Europa League this year, we would have probably not been in the top 4 currently right now. Because it just goes to show Man United players are so overrated. It's the truth. But the spare of them are overrated. Most of them. And that's and there's nothing more to it, man. You know,
Chelsea. That's why most of the praise for this season was going to Ten Hag and not the players anyway.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Yeah, but Ten Hag's probably maximized what he can do out of these lot, and then this is for him to be ruthless. Is he going to be ruthless and say, right, I'm going to get rid of these players and I'm going to bring these players in? That's what we have to see. A lot of managers have sort of dilly-dallied with players. You know what I'm saying? You keep them, let's give this player a new contract. Look, like, why is Phil Jones still at the club 10 years later? He might have had mental health issues. Like, don't get me wrong. If you have, cool, I understand that. But let's be real. We've got to get rid of these. Twanzebi's going. Phil Jones is going. Get more out. And you know what? If we've got to trim the squad, that's what's got to happen. Do you know what? Matisse and Lewis, this is the same thing with you. I was chatting to my boy Claudio. He's probably watching, who used to stream. I think you remember him. And I was chatting to Claudio and saying, do you know what? When you look at your Chelsea team, yes, everyone can cook you this season. It's football, it's banter. I get it. When you're getting Pochettino now, who for me was the right choice, and then you've got a squad right now of like 30 players. What Pochettino's got to come in and do in them first 2 weeks is say, right, these are the players I'm going to want, and these are the players I'm not going to want. And obviously, yes, he can't move everyone on, but have that squad that he knows he wants to use, because trying to keep everyone happy, especially when you guys haven't got Europe next season, is going to be difficult. But your team is not that bad. Trust me, your team is not that bad. Get a few positions sorted, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah, 100%. It's not a 12th. It's not a 12th place team. Like,
no,
I'm not going to use this season as a kind of barometer for next year, apart from the fact that we need to trim the squad. Like you said, if we don't trim the squad, then next year is going to be a tough season as well. But if we trim the squad and we get rid of enough players, then next season I'm expecting us to be back in the Champions League qualification, especially when you don't have European football. You got one game a week. You have to qualify.
The manager knows the league. There's no excuses in that department.
Exactly. So yeah, man, like I'm not going to do this thing where we finish 12th and the next season 7th is a good season. No, we're not doing any of that.
Can I put in there quickly for you as well, just for you boys as well? Actually, everyone. So obviously, I don't big him up because I don't actually like him. I think he's a bit of an idiot. But Mr. Brown Envelope said something quite smart, which I kind of agree with. So Chelsea spent their money, yeah, cool. They spent how much in currently as it stands in 12 months, what, 623 million, yeah, overall. Wherever you want to count it as how much was up front, I don't care. You know, but he said if Chelsea are going to go and spend another, let's say they're probably going to go spend another 200 to 300 million, let's say that's near enough 900 plus million or 900 in and around. He's like, my expectations would, but like you just spent 900 million, nearly $1 billion on a squad in the space of 12 months. You got to go win the league.
Yeah, but that's just looking at the money.
What, Chelsea next year?
Bro, he's saying if you spent $1 billion on a squad, like literally in a space of 1 year.
I'd understand that if that was coming from someone who wasn't biased.
Or challenge and go get a trophy. And I thought, you know what? That's probably the most sensible thing he said ever.
But he's biased because he hates Bowley because he's not re-signing Mount. So I can't even listen to it.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's no context on it. No context.
Away from the things he says, respectfully, he's got his own opinion, and everyone disagrees with everyone pretty much these days, anyways. I'm saying if you spend about $1 billion, like you usually, and let's say Pochettino gets back the 200, 300 million with the players he wants, including the outgoings. Chelsea will always be known for the outgoings as well, not just the incomings. Remember what Mourinho did? Look at the things he commanded when he was at, when he was at Chelsea. Like, you do get rid of players for good money, but obviously this is a different Chelsea. But if you spend so much on a squad, like, what would your expectations be for next season yourselves?
Okay, so if you're going to challenge, you need to get off to a strong start, right? I don't expect this Chelsea team to get off to a great start. I think the Chelsea team will get better as the season goes on. When you flip an entire squad basically in a year, which is what we're talking about, 25 players in, 25 players out, you're not challenging for the league, seriously. Like, money spent, I'm with you. You should be challenging. You spend that kind of money, I'm expecting challenges in the coming years. But next season, I'm expecting stability. We don't even have a philosophy. You know, when you're challenging for a league, that's not just you just challenged out of nowhere. That's years of playing a certain brand of football, elevating yourself, you know, taking the team to the next level in terms of the style of play. That is a plan. That's not something that just comes together in one season. There's seasons before that need credit. You've got credit in the bank. You've built something. We haven't, just because we put the players together, there's nothing there. Like, this team right now, they don't even play football. There's nothing in place. There's literally nothing in place. So yes, in pre-season, I'd love to say that Poch could click his fingers and put everything in place at once whilst all of the transfers, but it's not likely. It's not really gonna happen like that. It's most likely that the team is not gonna gel until maybe, you know, a couple of months into the season. That's what I expect for a team that has literally just been put together overnight. So I'd love to challenge, but I'm not gonna fall for the whole money spent challenge thing, because Man United have spent $1 billion and then Man United have spent $1 billion and they haven't challenged for the league since Ferguson. So we can talk about money spent, but if we haven't learned by now that money spent doesn't equivalent to challenging, then we haven't learned a lot.
Of course,
it's just an excuse.
Can I challenge you quickly though? Can I just? Oh, sorry, Lewis. I was just going to say to you two though. Do you think, because what Cass is saying in terms of the money spent, means you should technically sort of be challenging for the title, because a lot of people are putting you sort of just below the Man City, maybe Liverpool's last season. But the fact that you've actually finished 12th, do you think that's actually giving people a reason to let you off a bit? Whereas Cass is probably right, because of the money you spent, you should be back up there. But because of 12th, people are going to say, "Oh, now Chelsea do get top 4, like that's cool." But really, like, that's not.
By the way, it's not good.
Like, been letting us off though.
Do you know?
I
We've
feel
been
like
getting
next
called
year,
for
no
the
one's really
season.
going to put.
Nobody's been
But no,
letting
but
us off.
Lewis, no one's going to put you in a title race or title talk next year. But really, with
Yeah,
the
of
team
course.
you've got and the money you spent, you probably should be in the conversation.
No,
Or would you say
no, we shouldn't. Like Matisse said,
Okay.
we're clearing out an entire squad. We've got a new manager with a new philosophy that they need to bed into. We've still been transitioning into a new ownership. It's a completely different club to the club that it was 2 years ago. Last season, I was saying we needed a massive clear out of basically the entire squad anyway. I didn't even think we were going to make top four this season. I agree, this isn't a 12th place team, but the reason why has been because of shit coaching all year from Graham Potter, even Tuchel saying, oh, we don't need a midfielder. We have Conor Gallagher who can play the Kante role. Great one. Frank Lampard, just full stop. Like, there's been so many contextual issues that we've had this season. We shouldn't be contending. We shouldn't be near the league title.
Do you feel like
season.
you need
I
a
want
United
top
season
four,
now,
and I
like with
want a
Ten
cup.
Hag?
That's it.
Do
What?
you feel like you need a United season with Ten Hag now? So you get your top four and maybe
That's
just
what
go
we're
for a
gonna have.
Carabao or FA Cup. Are you cool with that?
That's
then?
what we're going to have. We're going to go for top four, go for the domestic trophies. We should be making both finals, seeing as we have one game a week. That should play into our hands as well in terms of where we finish in the league. But I am not looking at the league title and saying I want that. Look at what you have to compete against with the likes of Man City. Is it that realistic to go from 12th to beating the team that's on a three-peat right now?
I hope the fans are realistic. Like, I hope the fans are realistic, like you lot, to give Poch that patience. Because
I want that title, but the person that you mentioned earlier, I'm not going to reference him because I ain't got time for that. But he doesn't want Pochettino in. I want Pochettino in, so I'm going to give Pochettino time.
You're Pochettino as well.
So I'm not going to set Poch these stupid expectations that if he doesn't hit, then you're sacked. I'm not doing
exactly.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm so dumb, and you put him under instant pressure. This is all biased. You don't like Bowley. You don't like Pochettino. You don't like anything about Chelsea right now because Mason Mount's leaving. That's it. That's
what
can I ask? I'm sorry. Can I ask a question realistically for the people? Because I've been seeing this a lot. Can Chelsea really go and spend the money? Are you really? Do you? It's not that you have the money. Can you go and spend the money? What about financial fair play? You have to sell the players.
Like 100 million off FFP or something like that.
But you have 1 year. I think you have 1 year. 1 year. This next year, you'll have to balance the books.
Yeah, but
so it depends on how much you're gonna sell, right?
Yeah,
it's all about the prices.
But Chelsea are going to have to sell. They're going to have to sell players, right? We know that because the squad's massive. So Chelsea are going to have to sell players by force. It's not.
I'll have Reece James,
and that's what the plan's been anyway. Like if you look at it deep, Mount's going to go. Gallagher's likely to leave. Ruben's talking to AC Milan. Ziyech wants to go. Pulisic wants to go. Oba wants to go. Mendy wants to go. We'll probably try get rid of Kepa. If good bids come in for the likes of Koulibaly, Havertz or Sterling, we probably consider
I think Havertz gone as well.
That's 10, 11 names off the top of my head already. There's going to be a
I thought Havertz actually might be quite useful under Poch. And I know I've gave him a lot of stick, and I think a lot of people have been calling him shy Havertz and all that. But when you think about the way Poch wants to play, the 4-2-3-1, stability in the first season, then go forth. Like, I'm not saying Havertz is going to be anything great, but the way I think of Poch is what I thought about Dele Alli, right? That's just the way I'm thinking logically. Havertz has never really played behind the striker with proper wingers in behind. I know you got Sterling now, but an actual proper number 9, he's never really had that in around him. He's not unknown. He's not a crap player. Let's be honest. Havertz is not rubbish.
He's not crap. He's terrible.
For you guys, is it more like love lost? Like it's too much. It's been like.
Do you know what it is for me? Yeah, we just don't have time for this. Like, let's be real. We just don't have time for this. Like, we've had a horrendous season. I need to look at that team next year and not think to myself, "Oh, he's been here a while. He has to catch light, or it's lights out." Like, no, you need to just anybody who has disappointed, underperformed, and shown themselves to be a player that needs too much this or that or this or that. Like, you're talking to me about he needs this winger, he needs this striker. This guy has been given ample opportunity for years in different positions, and we don't have time to keep cuddling players. We need to get to a point now where you got Man City playing players in centre mid, centre back, left back. You got Bernardo Silva playing 3-4 positions. You got Gundogan playing 3-4 positions, all to an elite level. And the opposite way around for this Kai Havertz situation, which is he has to be playing in this specific area with this and this and this. And if anybody gets injured around him, then it's no longer his fault. And if he's not playing in here, it's no longer his fault. Even though he cost 72 million, and he's meant to be one of the best talents in the world. When we signed him, he was meant to be Real Madrid, potential Galactico.
He was meant to be versatile.
Ozil
meant to be
regen.
versatile.
Yeah, he's meant to be versatile. He could play 3-4 different positions. He's Ozil / he's Ballack / he's
De Bruyne,
and more importantly, you see up here, he doesn't have it up here. He doesn't have it up here. Mentally, he's not a killer. Mentally, he loves donkeys. That's his favorite thing. Donkeys. That's his friends, right? He loves donkeys. He loves Skittles and donkeys, and he's not a serious individual. And I can tell. This was the season where I clocked he's not a serious individual, because he's a kind of player that he loves to play when the team are playing well. But when was the last time Kai Havertz put up a performance when everybody else was not looking good? When was the last time he stood up and said, you know what, I'm gonna have a big performance today, when everybody else is looking a little bit less?
Kaz, can I ask you something? So, like, Mason Mount has had links to Manchester United, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, you name it. Who's got interest for Kai Havertz? Thank you. There's a reason for that.
I can see maybe going back to Leverkusen potentially if they can raise some funds.
Nobody is linked with him because he is a bum that we have wasted 4 managers on, and we have prioritized him over everybody else. He offers absolutely nothing. He cannot shoot, cannot take a man on 1v1, cannot pass. Yeah. His heading is inconsistent. His hold-up play stinks. His link-up play stinks. He has about 2 offsides, 2 fouls, and a yellow card per game and nothing else, and a big chance miss. He is one of the biggest flops in Chelsea history. I cannot be asked for Poch to try and think I can save him or anything. He can try, but he will die by Havertz just the same way every other manager has done. Get rid as soon as possible.
For me, he's run out of excuses, and it's a bit like Arsenal fans' excuse that Man City won the league because of money. Really, like, little did they know, since Pep took over, they've only spent 100 million less, than Man City. But Arsenal fans
City never bought anyone from an elite club.
But for me, it's like that's the way I'm looking at Sancho right now. That's exactly the same thing. What have you done, bro? In our times that we've needed you, you've underperformed. Mental health aside and everything. Yes, you've been here 2 years, not 3 years, like Havertz. But at the same time, you haven't given me anything to go off of thinking like, yeah, you're going to do something. I'd rather get the money now rather than go down the line and have a situation that you boys are having right now of Havertz. Who's going to take his wages? Who's going to pay the money for him? And in exactly how much? So that's the way I'm looking at it. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah. Guys, over 440 of you here, hit that like button. At least get us to 100, 200 likes, please. It looks like this is underneath your live chat. Just give us some likes, guys. Chelsea guys, you guys, it's exactly what Lewis just said. Who is going to buy Havertz? You guys named 10 players. Who's going to buy them for the prices that you guys are asking? 60 million pounds for Mount, 40 million pounds for Havertz. Who's going to come and spend that, give you that money to buy these players, especially after the season you guys are having? And
everyone wants Mount.
Yeah.
For that money, you think Liverpool or Arsenal will pay 60, 70 million? You guys rate Mount that much?
No, I don't think he's worth near that personally, but a lot of clubs do. And I'm not saying nothing. We need to get rid of him. He doesn't want to re-sign, and half our fan base is crying into their Mason Mount shirts about it. I want this saga over and done with because it is so boring and infuriating hearing the same Mason Mount update on repeat for the last 4 months, that they're trying to re-sign him, but it looks a bit difficult and he doesn't want to re-sign. This brother has regressed. He's not been at the same level he was at 2021. He's been declining for the last 18 months. He's asking for stupid wages that his performances don't deserve, when most players play their way into contracts and they improve their form because they're motivated to show their worth so they could get more money. Can't be asked for it. Let Mason Mount go. He'll probably do well at wherever club he goes to, and that's fine. I don't hate him. I hate his stance. Please get gone so we can move on and stop being Mason Mount.
If you're talking about, because you mentioned Havertz, right? And then Cuckoo will play Havertz's position, the Dele Alli position you're talking about. I expect Cuckoo to play that role. So this is why Kai is a waste of time. If we're talking about Mason Mount, he has shown in a Chelsea shirt that he can be a quality player and he can perform. So if we're talking about somebody that's revivable, it's Mason Mount under Poch. That's a player that can be put back on the right track, that can be put on a back in a position of, I'm not saying he needs to be a starter. He can even be a rotational piece. That's probably where the argument is right now. The ownership have seen a Mason Mount that has been regressing, that has been poor this whole calendar year, even the last 18 months. But they haven't seen the Mason Mount that won his first player of the year and deservedly so was brilliant. Second player of the year, I will keep maintaining it should have gone to a Silva or Rudiger. However, I would say he was the 3rd best player that season. So that's still quite a good achievement considering the players that we have. So for me, I would like to keep him. However, if he can't agree a contract and it's between Todd Bowie not rating him high enough and Mason Mount, and I can understandably see why he wants money, because you look at the players that we pay and what they've contributed and what he earns and what he's contributed, it doesn't make any sense. Regardless of the form, which I agree with Lewis, the form has dropped off. But this is Mason Mount's first poor season. I can name Pulisic, Kai Havertz, Ziyech. I can keep going, and they've all never had a great season, let alone have one poor season. None of them have even had a great season. And a lot of those players earn more money than him. So I don't think Mason Mount should sit there and just say, I'm going to take whatever Chelsea offer me and act like some sort of victim, when really he has contributed a lot to this club in comparison to those names. So it's a standoff. It's a standoff.
But then I agree. He's done more than Pulisic. He's done more than Kepa. He's done more than Havertz. They're all on 150k a week. Take 150k a week in a 1-year extension, show your worth on the Poch, and get the money you deserve.
But they don't want him to sign a 1-year contract, do they? They want him to sign some sort of 7-8 year contract.
I heard he was offered a 1-year extension.
That's crazy. See, that's where I think Chelsea.
But Lewis, you have to ask yourself this, right?
Because I think Matisse, you've got to find the balance. If you think of the 7-8 year thing, which you've done with like Mudryk and so forth, I'm not saying it's not worth it with Mount, but I think if Lewis is saying, for example, give 1 year and then see how he performs under Pochettino, the club is saying 7. I think a realistic deal would be for someone that maybe wants to leave, or someone that's had one bad season, but we've seen consistency in the last few seasons. I think a 3 or 4 year deal for his age at 24, I think he is now, is respectable. I think what it needs to be is Pochettino needs to come in. Obviously, I know he's not fully confirmed, but it's 99% sure it's going to be him. This is where Pochettino needs to come in and say, right, this is the situation where I stand with Mason Mount. Have a conversation with Mason Mount, because no matter what the board think and what others think, it's the connection between the manager and the player. And if the manager can put the confidence in him that he's going to play him and he's going to be important, then that's up to Mount to make the decision. Because no matter what, whether you want him or not, if Mount then doesn't want to stay, you'd be like, do you know what? Cool. Pochettino done his thing and saying that I want to keep you. But if Mount's like, do you know what? I don't want to stay, then that's another one of the bad players in mentally you don't want around the squad, because you know he doesn't want to be there.
I think Poch reportedly already wants to keep him, but he's also resigned to the fact that he could lose him because the contract situation is between him and the board. I get what Lewis is saying about the stands. Don't get me wrong. The stands are of all the players are annoying at some point, but I'm trying to get away from reviewing and evaluating players based on stands, because because those players are not responsible for their stands.
No, I agree with you on that.
You 100%. And like Mount is not responsible for the minerals and the vitamins propaganda. Jorginho is not responsible for the J5, army propaganda on Twitter that posts some crazy outlandish shit as well in terms of abuse. So I'm trying, and that's why Jorginho got a lot of hate. And a lot of people are now at a point where it's like, oh, the same people that hated Jorginho are the same ones that love Mount, and vice versa. So now everybody can hold that and everybody can cry. And you wanted to laugh about Jorginho, now you can hold that about Mount. And it's just a back and forth. When we're talking about the actual player.
Can I ask you a question though? Can I ask you a question?
I agree with what you're saying on the player though. Like, this isn't just because I want the stands out and anything. Mason Mount as the player, to me, is not worth above 150k a week right now, and we should not be being held to ransom and to give him more just because we had a nice year in 2021 and everything. We have had enough times where we've given players way too much money and it's fucked up our wage structure. Timo Werner on 200k a week, 260k a week, and then we had to fucking give Lukaku more money, give Sterling more money as an example of that. If we give Mason Mount more money than he's worth and he doesn't continue to prove himself, all we are doing is fucking ourselves in contract negotiations with other midfielders, other 10s in the future, because they're going to look at Mount and say, I want more than him. So to me, your biggest issue is show your worth. He has had all season to prove that he deserves to be on the money that he's been on. He's played every single game up till February, and he has fucking stunk. There has been games where we have played a good 60, 70 minutes, and I forgot that brother's even been on the pitch. It's not worth that money.
Do you know what? Can I just say, do you know what? I know Mo wants to move on from Mount, but there's one interesting thing I want to see what you two think. One, you haven't got Europe next season, which we discussed. You've got the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and then the Premier League. Now, if Mason Mount is to get that big boy money, then you've got Nkunku coming in, like Matisse said, he's probably going to drop into that sort of number 10 pocket. You've got Enzo Fernandez who's guaranteed to start. My logic of Poch is 4-2-3-1. If Mount is going to get the big contract, that means you're probably going to need to play him. But where does he fit into the team? And that's what I want to ask you two. If he's going to play a 4-2-3-1, and we know Nkunku's going to be in there, whether it's left, right, or central. You've got Enzo Fernandez, Kante, we don't know what's going on, Kovacic and stuff like that. But where does he fit into this Chelsea team? Because everyone says 8, 10.
Like,
I don't think it's guaranteed. I think obviously we're looking at the Tottenham team that he put out all those years ago, but he has had a time to step away from coaching and evaluate the way the league's gone, evaluate the new tactics, the inverted fullbacks, the inverted centre backs, and all. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot that's changed in football since Poch was in the Premier League. So the same way we're watching football and learning new things, he's definitely watching and picking up new things, or he's evaluating the way that he's managed in the past and working on it and enhancing it. So I don't think it's just a guarantee we're going to see this 4-2-3-1. But if he is going to put that formation out there, the only positions he can play is in the 10, we could play off the right. Now for me the issue with him playing in the 10 is I don't think that his final ball is strong enough for me to be basing and building the whole team around him. I've never wanted to build the whole team around Mount. I've wanted Mount to play in a midfield three, kind of as a shuttle bus, and then a creative player on the other side of that with a DM. And that's why I think the best place for Mount, to be honest, and I've said it before, if Mount's going to reach his peak, Liverpool is the perfect place. With Klopp, he is going to absolutely clean up house in that team. That is exactly what Klopp needs for his midfield. You look at Wijnaldum's, you look at midfielders like that. That is what Mason Mount can do. No problem. He can do it even better than Wijnaldum, I think. He can do it even better because
I actually think he'll start more games there.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think at 24 years of age, that's the most important when you got England Euros round the corner next year. You got the Euros next year as well, Mo. So
but when you think about
Mount took more than what he deserved on this show. Can we move on from Mount?
I wasn't even meant to talk about him on my live, and the whole stream ended up being about
the game.
Man took over 20 minutes of us talking about Mason Mount.
No, but it's still relevant.
See why I want him gone.
When we do previews, obviously we're previewing not just the game, but we're previewing the teams as a whole as well. And I'm just thinking,
I'm not gonna lie, there's nothing to talk about in the game. I can't lie. There's nothing to talk about in the game. I'm telling you that now.
It's the easiest preview. You could just say, "Well done for the 3 points."
There's nothing to say. Listen, me and Lewis, there's nothing to talk about with this game, right? Me and Lewis don't care. Me and Lewis don't care. Like, this team is arse. Do you understand? There's nothing to talk about going into this game. There's no tactics that I'm interested in talking about with Frank Lampard at the helm because he can't implement anything complicated, right? We got injuries galore. Badiashile's out for 4 months. We got no Reece. We got no Kante. So I'm not interested in that. Bro, we just here. You come, you get what you need, and go. That's all we're interested in. Come and do what you need to do, and go. Just do it quickly. Get it done,
I'm
keep
only
it moving.
going to the game. I'm only going to the game to link.
are you going to Uganda?
I'm still into.
You're going, Lewis. I respect that, man.
Bro, I haven't confirmed it because, like, I'm really debating whether I'm going to put myself through this shit. But it's like, I might go up there, last away, link up with the mates.
You at the Etihad,
right? The game as well. I'll shout you for sure.
Matisse in that say as well. Don't give me a slow death.
But I don't care. We know what we're going to expect, and I know all these previews for games go the same way. We come in, talk about how crap we are. The opposition comes in and says, "I know, but like you still could do something. Like you're Chelsea, you could still give us a tough challenge and everything." We'll tell you no. Watch 45 minutes and then you'll see. You watch 45 minutes and then you're like, "Raw, you lot are actually shit." Oh no, we didn't know that. We've been telling you lot that, and then we lose 2-3-0, and then that's it. That is what it is. We're crap. We're gonna lose. Enjoy the win. Keep it merciful. Other than that, I couldn't care less personally.
Do you know what?
Can I do the over 500 of you here, guys? Hit that like button again. And Winter Surfer, thanks for the super chat. He say no more Mount talk today. Please, let's move on. The problem with Mason Mount is that it's not only Chelsea channels talking about it. Now it's Arsenal channels talking about it. Liverpool channels are talking. Everybody's talking about Mason. He's taking a lot of people's time, to be honest. But thanks, Winter Surfer, for the super chat. I want to talk about Man United a little bit in this part, and I want to get the Chelsea opinion about Man United because you guys are biased when you guys talk about Man United and Erik ten Hag.
I'm not that biased. I've been propping Bear Man this year.
I didn't say anything. You're already rattled.
I live with a guy that tells me about my Man City history, and he's like, "Oh, have you seen this?" I'm like Daps, I don't actually fucking care, bro. But I do it anyway because he's my friend. I'm thinking like Daps. I don't care what Kevin Horlock's done back in the day, bro. I don't know who like this guy is like they used to play. Like, bro, not just that Man City stuff. Like, even when it comes to here, like when talking about Liverpool, sometimes I have to be nice about them. I ain't too biased. I'm very biased, but I'm quite. Nah, man, I find that offensive. Since we can find the things offensive anytime, anywhere, in any place these days. 2023 going on to 4. I find that offensive, bro. I think
what is offensive?
Your existence.
I didn't say anything. I just opened my mouth and you started ranting.
So I'm biased, am I, Mo?
Well, a little bit. You were biased for Martial, yeah? You were like, oh, Martial is
everyone
great. You
knows.
remember
I'm
that?
chairman of that.
You
Everyone
remember?
knows though. When you're chairman of something, you've gone too far already. It's kind of hard to escape right now. So prison break might be on the way, but we'll
So
see.
let me ask Matisse then. Has Ten Hag
I
done
hate
the
this
job
Man
that he
United.
was asked to do?
Yeah, he has. He's done the
So
job. he
he's
was asked to do.
exceeding expectations, or he's doing a good job just as expected?
I don't want to say Man United are exceeding expectations, because even though I didn't have Man United have finishing my top 4, it's the same logic I applied with Chelsea. Man United had their worst ever season last year in finishing 7th. Now that doesn't mean Man United should be in 7th. Man United, with the amount of players they've bought in, with the amount of money they spent, Man United should never be in 7th. So then to bring them into 4th, I'm not going, oh my days, what an incredible achievement. Like, you did your job. The mission statement was to get into the Champions League and to win a cup and stop the trophy drought. And he's done that. Not only did he do that, but he's also got rid of Ronaldo, which was a massive headache as well. And he's managed to get a Garnacho into the team, revive a Rashford, revive Wan-Bissaka. And, yes, they haven't maybe played the style everybody was expecting, but I think it's quite clear when you see De Gea in goal and you see Maguire coming in, that's not going to happen. So I have sympathy for him on that. I think next season, if he doesn't be cutthroat with those players that can't play correctly in the way he wants to play, and he keeps them, then and the style of play is still pragmatic more than it is the Dutch way, then I'm gonna be like, all right, cool, you asked for it. But in terms of mission statement, they're in 2 cup finals, they've got 1, they're in the top 4. Europa League's disappointing, but he's done his job. And let's not pretend like as if it was a normal job. Like, this is a Man United team that have the spotlight on them. There's a lot of limelight, there's a lot of pressure. Ronaldo was kicking up a fuss, and he's dealt with it. So, I think he's done what he needed to do. I don't think it's incredible, but I think it's a job well done. It's a good first season.
That's
you
what I
get
said.
Champions League, Cass. You get Champions League this week, in a couple of days. What's the expectation next season? If you get this
next season, I don't expect to win the league. Let's get this straight first and foremost, because I think there's still more underlying issues. I don't know what budget is. I think it's more to do with trimming the squad and getting your actual player philosophy over the line more than going and winning the league. I think we're still a couple points off winning the league, if I'm going to be honest, regardless who comes. I think a lot of teams are going to strengthen. I think a lot of people have written off Arsenal, like yourself, Mo. I think they're going to be wicked next season. I don't think Chelsea's going to... I think Chelsea have a very good chance with a 1 game a week, but I think Pochettino might be more focused on maybe winning a couple trophies and implementing his way of playing. It could be either or, but
compete for top 4 and a trophy.
I think Newcastle, I know you want to talk about Man United, but I think Newcastle drop off. I think the intensity of Champions League, they got it's a bit like us, but they got a lot to get over the line still. And it's a lot more than what they know in it. And they need a lot more players, not just 2-3 players. But I think with Man United, my expectation overall is maybe I would like to see us go somewhere towards, let's say, February, March, and say, like, give it a good go and see where it goes. But then I expect to win another trophy. Do you know what I mean? I don't expect to win the Champions League, but I would like to. If we don't win the FA Cup, I'm like, cool, can you go win the FA Cup this year then? That's the way I look at it. Like, it needs to be convincing. Football's got to be convincing. I think most Man United fans could. And if anything else comes alongside that, I'll be like, you know what? That's fine. So that's the way I personally look at it. I don't know about you, Ty, but...
Nah, do you know what? I think you're quite accurate, to be fair. I don't expect us to challenge for the league this season. I thought you was going to say that, I was like, let me see what he says first. But I'll be realistic. No, I thought Castle was going to say that, but no, I agree with him. I want to see, of course, progress on top of this year, but if we get top 4 again, but challenge for domestics, that's cool. Champions League, I actually would like to see us in the quarterfinals. I think if we get through the groups and then beat someone in the last 16, I'm like, fair. But I think the most important thing to me is just seeing more of Eric Ten Hag's style coming across, because I think this year is about finding out who can play his sort of style on terms of the limited squad we've got, getting rid of them players who we can't have around the team, and then bringing in new players. And obviously, he's kind of played the season without a proper striker. Let's be honest. I know Ronaldo's a goal scorer, but let's be honest, he's 37. He wasn't the Ronaldo what we grew up on. And obviously, Martial, he's been hit with his injuries, and when he comes back, he's hit and miss because he can't get rhythm. So with Ten Hag, playing without a striker, let's see what he can really do with a striker. Let's see what he can do with a midfielder. And we kind of need to get that spine sorted out. I don't know whether De Gea will be number 1, and I don't know if Varane will be playing every game. So there's some issues we still need to sort out. Our spine's not even there yet.
Our away form is sick, yeah. This is what I hate about the narrative that should be stacked because our away form's that bad. I'm like, since when have you been to Old Trafford and people now teams are going to be coming here and thinking like, damn, do we even get a goal today? We conceded 8 goals at home this season. in
That's
the
why I
Premier
want to
League.
see Newcastle. What is
And
it?
it's
Ten
just about
Hag.
Eight
improving
at
the
Ten
work.
Hag's got
home
to make
this
improvements
Oh,
himself
okay.
as well. Like
Course.
Ten Hag's got to make improvements himself. He's made a little few errors this year, but I expect that. And I
Sometimes it's
want
game
my manager to
management.
make errors. I want my
Yeah.
manager to make errors, but the mentality for the away games, yeah, that's got to change 100%. So for me, yeah, I want to get top 4 again next season, but I want to be a convincing 4th. I don't want to be convincing top 4. I don't want to be doing this sort of 2 games to go. I want to be in there comfortable in that middle ground. And then I think the 3rd year we have to challenge for the title. I will say that now aloud, and then like
Yeah,
not next
100%.
season, but the year after we have no excuses. But I want to be challenging or being in them conversations 100%.
The thing about Man United, in my opinion, is that you are just a couple of steps from if you win like 3-4 more games away from home, you would be comfortably in top 4. Like your home form, the style of play is there at home, but it looks like away for some reason he can't get it right. And this is the step. You just get 3-4 more games away from home. You win these games, and instead of like going all out or defending wrong or making mistakes, I think you would have been comfortable in top 4. You wouldn't be struggling
this
now.
is why it's a
looking
good
at
thing,
home.
Mo. That's why I think it's a good thing. I think the fact that we've seen our away forms being poor, the fact that with some of the away defeats we've had, like the not just 2-1s, I'm talking like the 5-6-0s. We've actually got something to compare to next season, which I like.
Yes.
It's not like everything's been nice and rosy. We've had challenges and we've had obstacles along the way. The next year, if we play City and Liverpool and we're getting beat 5-0, 4-0, Matisse and Lewis can come in and be like, "What's changed? You're big away." Like, you can question me.
Yeah, for me, if you were like the home form and away form are the same, but you're still struggling to get top 4, I would say you'd have a bigger challenge next year. But because you already got this home form, the way you play football at home is something that it's a footprint for Ten Hag. You just need to put that in the away games as well. This is what I'm seeing. Like, this is why Arsenal, for me, the fall off in these last 10 games, like, it's very hard to change that with the players he has. He needs a lot of work to change that, rather than you just changing just a couple of players and you play away from home good. Exactly. That's the difference, in my opinion.
I've got a question as well, like for the Chelsea and actually you, Ty, as well. So there's obviously a lot of players under question. There's some up and coming players. Like, is there any players that you guys think that are gonna surprise a lot of people that you are quite sure on?
What, from Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah, obviously Chelsea, or even Chelsea.
No.
Like you're young, you got like Mudryk is £100 million player. Don't get me wrong, but he's going to get some coaching into him. I think Mudryk is going to be the surprise player. I was
going to throw in.
Chukwuemeka,
I was going to say Chukwuemeka. Could he get a good chance?
Chukwuemeka's
Yeah, he's got to go on loan because we've got one game a week and everything. That's less game time. That's less opportunities. He's wasted the year here, so I'd let him go. Enzo Badiashile. Quietly, I'd say Sterling. I think Sterling in a better system. I think you get a little bit more.
He literally can't get any worse than what we've seen this season.
Yeah, he's been terrible this season. I'm not going to defend the performances, but he has had previous experience at Man City in a much better system. And this season, we've had no tactics. Basically,
I'm going to think
I want to see what he's like with an actual coach.
You know, I think it's going to be a surprise player because he's going to get injured again. Is reshaped Malagusto. Watch. I think he's
he's
going
a
to
baller.
be.
I wanted him at United.
I think he's going to be in for a shock for some Chelsea fans.
Good. He's good if you haven't watched him.
I think Reece James is going to have a similar career maybe to Michael Richards at this rate, Like he's too top heavy, man. Like this guy needs to slim down or something because this guy's getting injured and it's always some sort of muscular injury or something going on with this guy needing a surgery here. And I'm like, Reece James about 2-3 years ago, I know it was probably the time he got burnt out by Alphonso Davies, but it's like, bruv, that Reece James was wicked. He just needed a bit more experience under his belt to get going. And I just think his career trajectory right now is going slowly, surely, but down. It's not going to mean it's going to keep going down. But I just feel like
I wouldn't say he started declining either. Like I think Reece James is more of a victim.
I think Reece James is everything in ability in the world to be the best. I don't care about Trent. Don't care about that. I'm talking overall defensive, the actual balance. I like balance.
You know what, Cass? You know what might help Reece James there? The fact that Chelsea haven't got that many games this season, he can actually allow his body to recover because he's very muscular. Like some players are just like that. They're built with like a muscular frame, which he is. But having that one game a week might help Reece James actually stay fit. Because
we didn't manage Reece James coming back from injury well this season at all. Like after Christmas, we threw him straight back into the starting lineup against Bournemouth. He got injured in 45 minutes. Then he came back. And then Graham Potter decided, right, we'll throw you straight back into the lineup again at Fulham, and then for the next 3 weeks, and he got cooked in nearly every single game. And
Everton are doing it now, Lewis. With Everton are doing it with Calvert-Lewin right now, and look what's happening. Every game he's.
So I think a better manager uses him more, and also like we've got better depth now with Malo Gusto and all of that. But he's had shit management this season, and that's not.
Well, that's like everybody, to be fair, man. So what? Yeah. Who's yours, Matisse? You've been quiet on this, man. Is there anyone in your mind that thinks that, you know what, it could be the surprise?
I think it's tough because it all depends on the circumstance. Like we can say Mudryk, we can say Madueke, but it depends on who comes in. I think Madueke is a good player. I think he's
actually the only one, Matisse, at the moment. He's kind of like at least dropping a 7 out of 10 to show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Mudryk is always gonna have a lot of pressure on him because of the price tag. I think he cost 62 initial, 88 overall, not 100. But Madueke was just, he's a calm price at what, 30 or something, 30 million. So he's got potential for me. I think he's the one that I'd be looking out for. Lewis Hall is a good shout in the chat as well. I think every time he comes in, he equips himself very well. So I think Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall, is he a left back or is he a centre mid?
Yeah, he left.
He came through the academy playing centre mid, but he's been playing left back for us. I prefer. Listen, to be honest, we've seen players come through the youth academy and then play a completely different position for the first team. So I don't really care where he plays, to be honest. As long as wherever he plays at senior level, that's where he should play. Like if he's playing great on the left side at senior level, that's better for him. Then playing midfield academy level and playing it in the Premier League is two different ball games. But I think Ian Matson and Levi Colwell are very
there you go. Matisse, I was just about to say, can I throw one in there? I was going to say, would you keep Levi Colwell or would you let him go to like a Brighton? Because I think he's...
No, you keep him.
Keep him.
He's your build-up player at the back. Have him
and Badia Shield compete for left centre-back. We need competition.
Agreed.
Good competition.
I can't lie. I think Chilwell time might... I don't see.
He just signed a new contract.
I just don't see Chilwell getting any more. I think Levi could even take the left back position. He don't look unnatural in a left back position going forward.
I mean, he's so good though, Cat. He's like that Ferdinand, bringing the ball out from the back.
In the system these days, we're seeing centre backs at fullback, whether it's Pep and White, just anything in the world currently going forward. So
I'd say it's not Chilwell that's got the pressure, it's Cucurella, because I don't know where he's number one. He's not a number one left centre back. He's not a number one left back or left wing back. True. That's the bigger question mark. Like Chilwell, I get like he's not had a great season either, but he's had a better season than Cucurella's had. And I know it is Cucurella's first season, so we'll judge him more next season. But I think he's got a very big mountain to climb personally.
100%. Yeah, I think he does. But I just think Chilwell's just lost naturally through loads of injuries again. Like when you can like Martial. So many injuries, the same kind of injuries. It's like you lose a touch of pace, a touch of burst.
Ligament injuries as well. They're never the one.
Yeah, I think it's taking a little bit of a toll. And I'm thinking, like, I think Cucurella's got a lot to show. You're right, because I don't know what his best position is. He looks lost at left back in the Prem. It's weird to even say that. Left centre back in a free, he looks quite comfortable more. But you wouldn't even say at left centre back, he don't look like he's an outstanding player. But then again, I can't really judge him because the whole Chelsea team and system has been absolutely atrocious in general, anyways. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the point. Is if it was one or two players, yes, we'll look at this player and say, you flopped. But the whole team played like shit this year. So we can't just point to one player and say, oh, your form is terrible. No, it's the whole team. No, come on.
You have to look at the way you have to look at the way some players apply themselves. I get the system can fail, but individually you can still look good if you have the ability about you. That's why an Enzo Fernandez, for example, has come in from January and he still looked brilliant for us in spite of being surrounded by crap. But yeah, Kai Havertz can't. And Mason Mount
Did he look brilliant for you? You think he looked brilliant in the Chelsea
I think he's
team?
Been one of our best players since joining.
Well, one of your best players doesn't mean he looks brilliant. Maybe he's like a 5.
Well, the bar's low with
too.
Chelsea in it, but like he's looked better than a lot of the other
than
players.
Everybody else. Exactly.
Yes.
He looks better than everybody else. But I don't think he still lived up to that. I thought he's going to change your midfield.
Yeah, of course not. That's 120 million in it. Like I understand that, but like he's come in and he's looked competent. He's looked a lot better than a lot of the other players, and I think he deserves credit for that, especially adapting to a new league.
I'm looking at your team and I'm thinking this midfield needs a whole
Thiago Silva, Badia Shield. Who else?
Badiashile
Who
looked
took
so
Madueke and
good. The one I'm
Bezos?
disappointed at is Koulibaly, to be honest. Watching Napoli last year, I thought this guy would be banging for you guys. I thought this guy would change your defense, would be absolutely amazing. He was one of the best defenders in Serie A for like 3-4 years, playing in a back four. He used to be great. I don't know. Like, I still think that there's hope for this guy at the club, especially in the back four under a coach like Pochettino. Cucurella left back. I think in a back four, Cucurella, because he played left center back, I think he looks okay. I think he still has a lot to offer. I'm not sure.
Colwell and Badiashile, though, he ain't breaking them two. He ain't breaking.
Yeah.
You think Badiashile is going to be left back for you?
No,
No,
left centre back.
Left
centre back.
But Pochettino plays back four.
No.
But even then, you got Chilwell, you got Maatsen, you got and Cucurella.
Hold up. Does anyone remember before Poch's system, he used to actually play a free system as well? Oh, no, no one remember that.
Yeah, he has played the back three. Yeah, he's played the three.
He's not unknown to it, and I think Chelsea's best system with the current group is a free back. It's say if you did have Badiashile in that, but I think Chelsea fans would probably like to move on from the back three system because typically you don't know what kind of football you're always going to get. Sometimes it's great positionally because it's a proper positional formation, or you want more of a rigid 4-2-3-1 going forward, 4 attackers, etc., rather than relying on wing backs. I think relying on wing backs is awful. I remember Conte's 3-4-3 system. That was a wicked system, to be fair. It just depends if it's going to hold it down. I don't think Enzo can hold it down personally, innit? I don't think he can do what Matic used to do.
It's funny though because we're seeing Pep play a three at the back, but it's the way you play it. It's the way you play it at the end of the day. Like when you're relying on wing backs, it's different to when you're playing out and out wingers like Grealish and Silva and Mahrez. That's what they're doing. They're keeping the wingers higher up and they're playing their 3 and then their 2 just in front. Reece James could easily play the Kyle Walker position. Badiashile could easily play Ake's position. Levi Colwill could play Ake's position. The middle, you could easily play Silva.
I think Levi Colwill can be Stones' position. The way he comes up, the way he plays, he's very comfortable.
I would ease up on it purely because Stones is obviously very experienced. I think Stones, when he was at Everton, was always a great footballer. Like even at Everton, Jose Mourinho wanted him. He was always very composed on the ball. But I don't think Stones could play in midfield back then. I think experience has come with Stones.
And you need a Rodri next. You need a Rodri in front of you as well, and that's good. That you can't get that in this day and age. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the best DM in the world next to him, right? That's
why Chelsea, for me, with Enzo, like I think he's a very good player, but he is not a number 6, and I think it's essential Chelsea get the best in midfield to help unlock him as well. 100%. Chelsea need that number 6, not a Paulinho. You're not going to go and obviously get someone from Fulham like a rival, but I just feel like if you get that steal in there, that then allows Enzo that freedom to be himself like he is for Argentina, and you've got a player in there, man. You're not far off. Like we said, you're not far off. I want to quickly ask you before we wrap it up. I know we want to do a few more minutes, but number 9s, I know obviously people talk about number 9s and Victor Osimhen, how much he's going to cost. Ivan Toney now with his ban for 8 months. Harry Kane, obviously the Pochettino little effect there. There's Goncalo Ramos, Benfica. Who do you guys want is your number 9? Because for me, that's the first signing you need to make. Is there anyone from Germany? Is it Kolo Muani from Frankfurt?
There's one from
They have one already going their way. It
would have been Ivan Toney. But
is it keep Lukaku and see what Poch can do with him? I'm just asking.
I think our only realistic options are Vlahovic, Lautaro Martinez, and probably bringing Lukaku back.
Lewis, I'm going to be real with you. You're going to be, if you get Martinez and have him as a lone striker, awful as a lone striker. Vlahovic, I'm not the biggest fan.
We probably play him in a 2. Like I don't think I've ever seen him play as a 1 person. He usually plays a 2 with Milan. Hell, I'm kind of thinking, are they going to bring in Lautaro and then keep Lukaku and try and keep that 2 thing flowing? I don't know. It's up to them. I like Lautaro. I think they're both good options for us if they want to try and go for either of them.
It's crazy when you think about number 9s in this day and age. You can't really
Lukaku. I'll only take Lukaku if Poch wants him. Like that could be something for Poch to live or die by if that's his choice.
I'm not taking him.
I do believe he can get a tune out of him.
Are you not taking him, Matisse? You're not taking him because he's not a good player, or because of what he did at the club?
I'm not taking him because I just don't like him. Like what he did at the club is unforgivable, and he's not. I don't want to watch him either. Like I don't want to watch him. Like he's not a fun player to watch. He's very clunky. We come up against a lot of low blocks, and he up against low blocks in half spaces is a disgrace to the game to watch. Like he needs to be in a counter-attacking team. People are talking about Inter Milan play on the counter-attack. So do we play on the counter-attack? No. So we're going to go back to the days of Lukaku at Stamford Bridge on a tight pitch against a low block. say from Bournemouth, and we're not going to be able to break it down. And then our chance creation is going to suffer because that's basically one player that can't get involved in the build-up play. So unless we're Man City, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm not going anywhere near him.
Broja could be huge for you guys next season if he can stay fit. He might be a player. He could.
Too much of a question mark though with the ACL.
Yeah,
so
I know that, but you need another striker or a guy. You need number 9. I just can't.
I don't want another service striker who can't contribute anything outside of just whatever service you give them. Because as much as we can say the chance creation is better because Enzo's there, if Enzo gets injured, then the striker needs to contribute again. The striker needs to contribute anyway. That's why I'm a big fan of. That's why I'm a big fan of Harry Kane. So I'm a big fan of Ivan Toney. Like my profile is not changing ever again. All of that.
Would you take Kolo Muani then, Matisse?
I need to see more of him. He's
good at link up and dropping in.
Yeah, he is good at link up. I think he's apparently minimum 100 million though, so I'm not really comfortable with that.
Isn't he going Bayern?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think when you see Man City get Julian Alvarez for 17, 18 million, there's people out there. We need to be doing better than these bait names. I don't want Lautaro for 80. I don't want Vlahovic for 70.
I can see you not getting Gonzalo Ramos or something like that, like just because I don't think a top team will come in for him. I just think he's at the bottom of the list. Vlahovic in Europa League, I know it's not different between Europa League or not having it. I think he'd be interested by the Prem, and I think Vlahovic might be nailed on for Chelsea, and especially at cut price 60, 70 million potentially. I think that's
another little Serb as well. Matic,
if you got Sterling, you got Nkunku, and you got someone like, I think Madueke is going to have a wicked season. I think that right foot, left foot is going to kill a lot of players when he gets some more experience. I think there's every bit of service for a number 9. I don't think they need a link-up striker. I think they just need a goal scorer now. That's it. Someone who's got to lurk in the box that they haven't had for quite a few years.
Yeah, but why settle for just a goal scorer when you can get someone that can do both?
Who?
Well, Tony would have been the great option. That's the thing.
I think Lautaro is well-rounded as well, to be fair.
But the thing is, our job is not to say who, because we're not scouts. We don't have time to be watching every single league. That's the club's job. The club's job is to find a striker, in my opinion, that can do both. I don't need to settle for just a finisher when I can have someone that can drop deep, that can link up, and that can pass. It gives the manager more options. I don't want the managers to be stifled or to be. So
you don't mind towards the team. Huh? You don't mind having a striker like let's say Højlund or something like that, or Evan Ferguson's potential. You don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. As long as they have the attributes to give the manager flexibility. If you ask them to just stay in the box for service, they can finish. Those two players can finish. But if I need you to on another day do something else because my team is under the cosh or my team needs something else from you, I don't want you to just be a bystander and completely irrelevant, because that's where we get into a position where now Chelsea are struggling for chance creation this day, that day, and now you're an irrelevant player that's struggling and waving your hands up in the air and arguing and getting angry. So I'm not.
I'll still get Ivan Toney, to be honest. It's going to be cheaper. I'll still get him and wait until January, because if your expectations is not winning the league, just get Ivan Toney, make him work with Poch behind the scenes.
You can't. But then you don't have a striker until
because you're going to get Lukaku back and you can shift.
I'm not having Lukaku. I think you need to hear me, mate. You're not listening. All right? I'm not having Lukaku. Like, this is not something that I'll have for 6 months and then I'll know. Like, he needs to come into Cobham. Fair enough. Pick up your shit and go straight back out the door you came in. That's how I'm treating Lukaku.
The guy, he makes 300k. Nobody's taking that wage, Matisse.
That's not my business. Learn Chinese, learn Arabic. Listen, he comes to Cobham, he picks up his things, and he goes. I'm not giving him a chance. I'm not going to warm up to him. You won't find a more straight and narrow person when it comes to this guy right now. I'm not doing this Lukaku thing, because the problem is with Lukaku is we're all going to say, "Oh, give him a chance." Then he's going to be like, "You know what? I actually like it on the Poch," and everyone's going to get gassed. And then Lukaku's going to wake up one morning, the sun's not going to rise the same way or the same angle it did yesterday. He'll be like, "You know what? I'm not interested anymore. I don't like it here." And then everybody's gonna have a big piss up again.
You forgot one more thing, and then he's gonna go to the newspaper of like the Gazette or something like that, and then say something out of nowhere.
The thing is with him is he's too emotional, right? If you're too emotional, in life, and you're too bipolar, and you react, and you're distant, this day you're this day, this day, and that's it. You cannot be consistent with anyone. You cannot work consistently because no one can predict what you're going to do from one day to the next. We might not be happy every day, right? May not be, oh, this is fantastic. Oh, today I can't be bothered, but we still deliver, right? Because we're consistent. Lukaku's not like that. Lukaku's emotional. If Lukaku's not, it's not going his way, it's a problem. And now it's everybody's problem. And even though he said he could do everything, when Tuchel actually asked him to do everything, he was like, actually, I can't do everything. Actually, I don't want to drop deep. I need to run in behind. I need to do this. I need to do that. He's too unpredictable. You cannot build a team around someone so unstable. I'm not looking for that drama.
He just needs a strong manager to coach him, to be honest.
And Poch is that? Everybody said Poch can't deal with egos.
He's not.
Everybody said he is. Everybody said Poch can't deal with egos, and now they want to bring in one of the most egocentric players of all time and ask him to deal with him. It's for me, it's not happening. It's not happening.
So, guys, come to the last part, predictions. But before that, guys, hit that like button for us, please. It's still over 500 of you here. Get us to 250 likes. So 300 likes. It looks like this is underneath your live chat if you're chatting with us. So, guys, predictions.
I think Matisse needs to tell them, to be honest. They listen to Matisse.
Prediction?
No. Just
tell the people to hit that like button.
Yeah, man. Listen, you man need to smash it up. Like, what are we doing here? This is free content. You know what I mean? Like, the like button is one click, and once you hit that, job done. It's not going to take too long. So let's get it done.
Give me predictions. I'm gonna start with Lewis.
3-0 United.
I knew I would say that. Matisse?
Someone just said he's been very consistent with Inter. You might need to shut the comments off, from me, because I can't read this shit.
He's not.
How can the man How could he be inconsistent? Bro, don't make me cuss out your bruv. How can he have been consistent with Inter when he was overweight for most of the season? How can he be consistent with Inter when Edin Dzeko starts ahead of him? Who's 37. What in the waffle? Huh? You telling me I'm waffling? You're waffling, huh? Bruv. Don't piss me off with this Lukaku. Bro, when it comes to Lukaku, I don't play, I will shut down any foolish argument that is brought to me. I will shut it down. Anyway, prediction. Probably 1-0 United. 1-0 United.
Oh, 1-0.
Yeah, because United don't have a goal scorer, right? Outside of Rashford.
Rashford's playing tomorrow, by the way.
Is he playing tomorrow?
Yeah.
He might be a little bit rusty, so yeah, I'm just say 1-0. Fuck it.
1-0, please. I'll take that. What a trip.
Gas?
Because I'm going there myself, and I always see minimum 2 goals from United scoring minimum 2. So every time I've been to 17 home games this season, I'm going for. I can't lie. I think this is the last. Chelsea don't give a crap. I think we're going to give more of a crap. Oh, I'll say 2-0. Yeah, 2-0 sounds about right.
Yeah. Ty.
Do you know what? Cass is gonna hate me.
Someone say Chelsea's gonna score a goal, guys. Like, just
nah. My head,
it's depressing, bro.
My heart says 1-0 United, yeah. But my head tells me that we're all gonna get sucked into a 0-0 draw on a dead Thursday night, and I hope not.
Nah.
Oh my gosh, 44 points. Let's go. I'm here for it.
But nah. If not, 1-0 United. We want it more, man. We need to secure top 4. And hopefully we get the job done, man. Then, like Matisse said, one more game, and we can just get this transfer window underway because we need to get this next season.
But thanks,
actually,
everybody.
No, to be fair, we got FA Cup final, so let's see.
Yeah. Thank you, Matisse. Thanks, Lewis. Of course,
Yeah,
their
big up for
channel
coming
is
on, guys.
actually
Thank you.
in their channel is in the description, is in the title. Of course, just click on their username and then it'll take you directly to their channels. If you haven't subscribed there yet, make sure to like the button before you go. Thank you guys for being here with us. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys in the panel. Lewis, thank you so much. Matisse,
big up, guys, for coming on. Appreciate it, man.
Big up, guys.
Big
Thank
up
you
my
so
people
much.
every time. I'll see you guys on Thursday if I decide to
like, subscribe, all that. Check their channels and like the video, people. Drop a comment after as well. Big up.
Yeah, and we're out of here.